We want to acknowledge gratitude more and more because that is what keeps our pulse on what we are doing and why we're here. So I am super excited that today, and I don't know why my camera keeps moving, but there we go. Um, is that I am super, super grateful to have Kyle here for our team, our elite coaching. He is phenomenal. Him and his wife are diamonds in the company. They are incredible. They started Anthem Academy and Anthem Community, Anthem Network, Anthem pretty much. And I love that they had the heart to do that because we all want to grow our businesses in a kingdom way. And I know our team does. And the beautiful part about that is helping get the word out and to be able to help other people see that vision and get poured into, because we all know it's my mindset. We all know we could do IPAs all day long, but if we can't get over this, then no IPA sheet is ever going to help you. And so that's the beautiful part of Anthem is they felt that love and knowledge to go ahead and start providing that resource to a lot of us. And this is for any social seller. And so I am super grateful that he started having that vision, him and his wife, another Cassie, which of course I love, that is what is growing. And I can't wait to see what God is going to do with that community and beyond, especially to have myself in there. I love it. I love that they felt that I could help in that aspect. And I'm just so grateful to be a part of it. But I am more grateful to have you guys here and align with the kind of the same mission of bringing God's work and his kingdom into what we do and to help other people see what we see in him. And so I'm just going to pass on to Kyle. So Kyle, this is like our elite coaching. These people signed up in a way for this. They've signed a contract. They're ready. They want to grow their businesses. We meet every single Thursday for 30 minutes and just kind of coach and talk about things. And they have homework every week. And they're the elite of the elite, which is why, we call them elite coaching. So anyway, I'm going to give you my incredible group, Kyle. They are phenomenal.
Awesome. 30 minutes. She's told me I had 3 hours, so I guess I'll have to pare it
I
down
mean,
to.
you have extra time. It's
I'm
recorded if
just
they've got to
kidding.
pop
I'm
off.
just kidding.
But
Hey guys, I am thrilled to be here. I'm gonna ask something really strange at the very beginning because I have a little exercise I'd actually really like you to do. If you're driving, Julia, probably don't need to do that, but because let's try to be safe. But if you can get to a place where maybe you can write on your phone, like notes on your phone, or write down pen and paper. For those don't who are young, pen and paper is what we used to use back in the day. Whenever, yeah, there you go. So. But before I have you run through the exercise, time for vulnerability. All right. So you guys are an elite coaching group. You guys understand Plexus. You know what you're doing. And so as leaders, it's okay to be vulnerable. And I'm going to ask a really funny question here. Who doesn't know Cassie and I's story? So I'm seeing that everybody's fairly familiar with our story at some level. Speak now or forever hold your peace. Okay, cool. I can skip that part now. That's great because that's all. I know that sounds super arrogant to be like, who doesn't know who we are? But it's just one of those things where I realize sometimes when we get into my story, I love our story, but yeah, I want to utilize your time with today and make sure you have a lot of value pouring into it. And sometimes rehashing someone's story is probably not the best use of our time. So anyway, but just for a little bit of a reminder, we have 9 children. We live in Boise, Idaho. It's still weird to say that because we just moved from Oregon. We've been in Oregon for over a decade. Originally from Texas. That's where Jesus lives, if you ever want to meet him. And so, oh, we got a Texan. Christy, you're already my favorite. So you're already my favorite. You're already my favorite. Where are you living in Texas, Christy?
So I'm originally from like the Dallas area, but I currently live about an hour north in Denison. I'm in Oklahoma right now, but I
I'm really
live
sorry.
in Denison.
I'm really sorry. You're in Oklahoma. You're in enemy territory. That's awesome. I did a stint in DFW. My wife is actually from South Lake, so over there in Fort Worth area. So, okay, gang, your husband's working in Texas right now. Good luck if he comes back because he'll love it so much that he'll never want to come back to you. Um, so, hey, okay. So here's what I want you to do. I'm going to give you about a minute, maybe 2 minutes actually, to do this. What I want you to do is I want you to write down for me, either on your phone or just on a piece of paper. I want you to list some things, and maybe, and if you're driving or whatever, I mean, like in your head, that's fine. You can do this maybe. But I want you to write down all the things that you like about you when it comes to either your business or your personality. Like, what do you like about you? You get a minute, maybe less. What do you like about you? Like, where do you think you're awesome? Some of you look like you're going through surgery without anesthesia right now. In about 30 seconds. What do you like about you? Be a little bullet point list. It can be whatever you'd like. You can write a novel or whatever you want, however format you want to do. Emojis are fine too, I guess. Okay, so now pens down, students. Now I want you to take a minute and write a second list on everything that you wish you can improve upon, things you don't like about yourself and what you need to improve upon. It could be your business related, it can be personal, it can be whatever. By the way, you're not sharing these things, so don't worry. Like, you can be really honest with yourself. Some of you are like, oh, okay, good. Except for Shelby. Shelby's going to share her whole list. I'm just kidding. She's not. She's like, no way.
No, I could see Cassie asking us to share the list later on because
Yeah,
she's
there you
just
go. It's a
that
trap.
elite
This is just a
coaching
trap.
and
This is
oh
just a
yeah,
trap.
it's
It's a
definitely a
trap.
trap.
It's a trap. What do you want to improve upon yourself? What do you not like about yourself? I'll give you about 30 more seconds. Okay, pins down. That was less than a minute, but that's okay. Let me ask a question. I want some interaction here. So this seems like a fun group. So I want you to feel free to unmute if you want to contribute. How many of you felt like writing something that you like to improve upon, the second list was a lot easier than writing in the first list? Just a show of hands. Yeah. Okay. How many of you was that list longer? Was the second list longer? No. Good. Some of you know, some of you yes, maybe about the same. Okay. Why do you think it was easier to come up with a negative than the positive? Feel free to unmute. No wrong answers. Well, there are wrong answers, but we'll see if you get it. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, I hope I
Easier
don't get a
focusing.
wrong answer.
Yeah. Go ahead, Julia.
But
Why?
I was just going to say, I think because our brains naturally divert to the negative.
But why?
Out of almost like, it's almost like a protection. I feel like sometimes it's like a
Okay.
protection.
Yeah. But why? Why the negative? Ashley says apparently she's done a lot of healing. That's good.
I feel like the negative is like it's already there, so it's easier to come to. Like it's already
Okay.
rolling through my head throughout the day.
Interesting. So you have an ongoing soundtrack in your mind of negativity?
I want to say yes, but it's more of like I'm working really hard and diligently on stopping it, so I'm realizing that that's what's happening. If that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. By the way, there's no judgment here. Like, absolutely. I think that's a very vulnerable statement to say. I think most of us would say, yeah, I mean, if we're thinking about the soundtrack of our life and the sound and the voice that keeps going on and on, we would tell ourselves, yeah, it's generally negative. Like even silly things like, why did you do that? I can't believe you forgot that. That's so stupid. Da, 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 right?
Or
Okay.
of course that would happen to you
Of
because
course
that's
that would happen to me.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. All right.
Kyle, really quick. The other thing I think as a Christian is sometimes is we want to be humble. So why would we be saying all the fun things and the good things about us all the time? Because we've got to humble ourselves. So
Now, Cassie, you've read ahead now, so now you've cheated.
oh, I'm
and you
sorry.
completely.
I didn't know the homework.
No,
I
no,
just
go ahead. You train for the rest of the time. Why am I here? Go ahead, go for it. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, absolutely. So here's the thing. When I used to teach for about 8 years, I taught political science at the university level. I have a master's degree in political science, and I would teach anything from introduction to government to political theory to international relations to political philosophy. I got a master's degree because I thought I wasn't wanted to be a politician. No kidding. Like that's where I was going to. I was going to go run for president and stuff. But then God called me to ministry and kind of similar pastor and politician at times, it feels like. But anyway, and when I would teach my classes, these are 18, 19, 20-year-olds, right? And I asked them to do the same exercise. It has nothing to do with political science, but I had to do this exercise, right? I was the fun professor. And so as they did it, it was excruciating, even at that age, I mean, and this is maybe the last class I ever taught was probably 7 years ago. So, I mean, it's not like it's like decades ago or something like that. And so these students had such a struggle, like you struggle, right? Because of the socialization factors that have actually shaped how you and I see ourselves. Now, I wanted to, I know this is you're like, where is this going? This has nothing to do with IPAs. This has nothing to do with activity. This has nothing to do with growing my business. It actually has everything to do with growing your business. And so we'll get there. All right. But I wanted to be really unique in this training in that since it is not worth your time of me explaining to you how to use Instagram and lean into your narrative and how you need to go live and your systems of customer retention and care. Like Cassie, that's Cassie's job. Like it's not my job. And so what I wanted to do is come and talk to you a little bit about these socialization factors that are actually playing a soundtrack in your head and have manipulated and shaped how you see yourself. And by the end of our time together, I'd love for that shift to happen where you see yourself as God sees you and you believe the things that God says about you. Okay. Now, socialization factors are really interesting. When we grow up as kids and when we're in those formative years, even as young adults, and some of you look like you're very young adults. And so I think it could be your dad for half of you. So, but the thing is, when the socialization influences, these are outside factors that have influenced how you see yourself. We use this actually in political theory a lot, right? We just had an election. Do you know that like there's never been an original political thought? Anything that any politician ever comes with has already been thought of, right? It's just repackaged into this new generation, right? Like Ecclesiastes says, there's nothing new under the sun, and that's really true. So what do you think are some socialization factors that actually we'll go to the election. We're not going to get political, don't worry. But like, what do you think factors in when people go to vote? Like, what are some socialization factors, do you think? Things that outside influences that have shaped the way that people think and process.
I may be off, but like the media tries
Media,
to
perfect,
portray-
excellent. Yep, media, perfect. Social media, perfect. Okay, what else? Great job, Hannah.
I think upbringing, a lot of
Okay,
times our
so
upbringing.
family, we'll call that family. Okay, cool. Next, anybody? What about your money, right?
I was going to say education. Yeah.
Education, income. You give me someone's faith background, education level, and income level, I can tell you how they're voting, right? Okay, so obviously our faith, education, environment or family, money, media. Another one is experiences, right? So if you grow up in Texas versus growing up in Massachusetts, you're going to have a very different culture and experiences, right? So that plays a part and influences who you are, right? How your parents vote influences how you are. And it's really funny because either the kids go the exact opposite or go exactly, there's no in between, right? It's really funny how that sometimes happens. So why do I bring this up? Because I don't want to talk to you about your political habits. What I'm trying to say is, how many of you would say, I'm not a good administrator, I'm not organized? Raise your hand. Okay, why? Why do you feel that way? Kylie, why do you feel that way?
Sometimes I think it's mostly just my ADHD that keeps me so unorganized.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. No, that's fair. That's fair. I think Shelby, you raised your hand too, right? Okay, why do you feel like you're a bad administrator? You're not organized.
Kind of the same thing. Like my ADHD, dyslexia. Like I start one thing and never finish it because I just keep starting stuff.
Okay. Yeah. How many of you ever just go, well, I'm, whatever the case may be, I'm using just a random example, but how many of you ever said, well, that's just who I am. We all have, right? We all have had at one point. Like if I tell you I'm not a good administrator, well, if I was to ask the question, like, well, why? Well, ADHD, that's a real thing. Like that's a real thing. But for some of us too, if I would say, well, but okay, but beyond that, like why? And I think what we'd end up doing is getting to some foundational truths that you've believed about yourself that someone else has told you. Right? Oh, I'm not organized. I'm always late. Or I'm not very driven. I'm not very talented. I'm not very gifted. Well, if you go back and see why, maybe there was a parent, maybe there was a teacher, maybe there was your environment. I was not allowed to actually pursue money because I came from a very middle class family where in the South, where money, if you had money, you were on the other side of the tracks. And if you went and got your education, wow, okay, look at the big college, man. I mean, like it was so downplayed to bring us down because we didn't want to talk because that would lead to pride. Same thing in our faith, right? When we did our exercise earlier and I asked you to write down the good things about you, Cassie nailed it. It's like, well, I think I'm pretty, I have the gift of hospitality, but I won't say that because that's prideful. Why? Why is that prideful? Well, because someone told me, because someone told me, because someone told me. See, I promise you this. If you were to list out the things that are holding you back in your business and things that you wish you could improve on about your business and Plexus, 99% of them are because you have an internal soundtrack that tells you can't do it. Well, I can't go live. Why? Well, I got to get fixed up. Why? Well, because you saw somebody else or someone else told you got to look your best, or someone else says you got to have a script. Someone else says you have to know what you're saying. And it's so funny. It's like now the trend is, oh, I want to be authentic when I go live. And then you're like, but I don't know how. That's crazy. What do you mean? Just be you. Well, I don't know how to be me. Right? Because maybe what if they reject me? When I was growing up as a kid, I was told on repeat that I was lazy and that I had educational deficiencies, that I couldn't learn. 3 master's degrees later, I'd love to go back to all those people and be like, look at me now. You like apples? Check out these apples, right? Little Goodwill Hunting, And so, but the thing is, when we believe the voices in our heads and the lies from other people that have deemed us who we are, we stop listening to the voice of God. Okay. But no, Kyle, that's prideful. Okay. So let's get over this part real quick. Cassie, I would say, is incredible teacher. She's a good trainer and teacher. She has a very conversational way of teaching. She demands authority when she teaches. I've seen it. I've been a part of it. I've been in the audience. I've listened, and I'm captivated. Did Cassie develop that gift? Sure she did. Sure she did. Like I'm sure at one point she felt like she wasn't good at that, and she had to work on it. And after time, but where was the foundational source of that gift? That Cassie just was born one day and the doctor goes, it's a baby girl and she'll be a great public speaker one day. I can tell she has this mole on her butt, and that shows us that, sorry, I just had to some of you just need to laugh a little bit because you're just kind of looking too serious here in a minute. See, that's just it, guys. Like the gifts that you have, that you have, Christy and Hannah and Julia and Shelby and Shara. Is it Shara? Did that get that right? You're saying no. Well, I mean, then you're lying to people on your thing.
Like a share, like you're sharing.
Shara. That really works well with network marketing. You're going to go Shara today. Great. Awesome. Carrie, Ashley, Megan, all of Rachel, Samantha, you all have gifts that God has given you that he hasn't given other people. And look, it's really cool because as we get older, we discover new ones sometimes. And then look, I'll never have the gift of administration, and that's okay. I can administer things. I'm okay with it. I mean, but it's not a gift. It's a skill I've developed, but it's not a gift, right? So I would tell you, and this is going to sound arrogant, I feel like I'm a good teacher. I feel like I'm a good presenter. I feel like I'm a good coach. Totally okay with saying that. What a prideful thing to say. No, because I know the source of that gift. The source of the gift isn't Kyle. The source of the gift is the Lord. And when I understand the source of the gift, when I understand how he sees me, then I can actually utilize it and be really proud about it. I can be really prideful about it because my pride is in the Lord. I'm glorifying him in my gifts. Let's put it like this. If Christy has an excellent way of connecting and building relationships, yet she doesn't use that gift, she's actually being a bad steward of her gift, of the things that God has given her. You see? But why do we not use them then? Because the Christian culture, not the Bible, but the Christian culture tells us that's pride. That's arrogance, right? Also, we listen to other voices around us that says, you're not enough. You can't do this. Look at your kids. They're running around like crazy. Look at your finances. How do you think you can do this? You're not a business owner. You're not an entrepreneur. You're not a network marketer. And some of us, we got some parent hangups, right? And we can hear our mom or dad's voices in our head ringing on repeat. This is who you are. This is who we are. This is what our family is. This is what we're about. Why are you getting into that pyramid scheme? Why are you getting into that thing? Why are you embarrassing us? Why are you? I mean, so whoever it is, friends or whatever, someone along the way has socialized you to believe that you're not as good as you actually are. Now, no one's perfect. We want to continue to be improving. But what happens when we start listening to lies, particularly when it comes to our business? We isolate. We go inactive. We pull back. And Cassie has to drag you from the shadows and go, you're enough. You're worthy. You're amazing. You have a good cry fest for 30 minutes on a coaching call, and you finally get back until the outcome of your activity doesn't meet your expectation. And then you realize, oh, well, all those lies are true about me, and you pull right back into the shadows. Okay, so I have like 7 minutes left. So I want to leave you with this. I want to leave you with this. Hear me say this. And this group is a great group, and I care about Cassie enough to be honest with you. You will never reach your fullest potential in this business if you allow the opinions and socialization comments of other people be louder than God's voice. You won't. Oh, I just signed up 10 people. Great. You'll never keep them. Because you'll believe the lie that you're not good enough to keep them, there's a 4-letter word we don't use on our team, right? It's not actually 4 letters, but we say it's 4 letters, and that's lucky. If you ever use lucky again, Cassie has the permission to yell at you. Luck doesn't exist. We don't even let our children use the word. We will not let our children use the word. My son the other day goes, oh, he just got lucky. And he stopped himself. He's like, I'm sorry. Yeah, because somebody made a certain basketball team that he didn't make. And he goes, well, I mean, he was good, whatever. I mean, like we don't allow that because luck has nothing to do with life whatsoever, right? Okay, that's a figment. That's a fairy tale. Okay, it's a 4-letter word. It's an excuse. Luck is an excuse. Well, Shara got lucky. She earned the cruise. No, Shara worked her butt off. That's why she earned the cruise. That's you know what I'm saying? They get but some of us may see each other and well, they just got lucky, or it always happens to them. Then it gets into comparison, then it gets in all these things. So here's what I'm trying to tell you. When God created creation, right? When he breathed it into existence, when he spoke it into existence, right? He built, he spoke into the seas and the land and the stars and whatever. And what did he say about them? That they were good. Christy said it. Good. You went to Sunday school. Great, Christy. Good. Says that Texas upbringing. Good, right? Gold star. When he made mankind, he said it was very good. When you look in the Hebrew there, it's a weight. There's good, and then there's very good. Exceeds the good. You are God's, as Ephesians says, workmanship, masterpiece, or the Greek word poema, right? You are his poema. You are his masterpiece. You are his workmanship. Set aside to do good works in Christ that he's already set aside before you to do, right? So who are you going to believe? The socialization factors all around you, or the God of the universe that made you very good? So right now you may even be in a season where you're like, I'm not really showing up because I think the cruise is out of reach. I'm not really showing up because I'm just not I'm not in a good headspace, or I'm not really showing up right now. I'm not being consistent, even though I know I should be, because I'm just not in momentum right now. You're going to shoulda your way all the way out of this business, right? Because you're listening to all the outline factors. Like people's opinions, by the way, people aren't thinking about you as much as you think they are. One, I know, bummer. Two, people's opinions, if you allow that to enslave you, it can only steal from you. It cannot provide for you. It will not add to you. Okay. So in the end, we have to go back to the idea of realize we're very good, right? You're very good. Now, it doesn't mean you're perfect. It doesn't mean you have flaws. It doesn't mean we can't improve. It doesn't mean things we want to try. We want to get uncomfortable because we know growth happens in our uncomfort. If you've never gone live before, let me just tell you right now, that's kind of the big trend right now. Go live, right? Lean into your narrative. Look at the pain points of your audience. Lead with the business. I mean, I get it. Products are great. We love Reset, all the things. Free Reset's wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Don't let the products, right? They'll be the only thing you talk about because you have an opportunity that can change lives, but that's for another training. But what I'm trying to tell you is this, is that what's holding you back isn't that everybody's ghosting you, isn't that you don't know what to post, isn't you don't know have anyone to reach out to. It's you. Because you're believing the lies that someone told you along the way that this is who you are. When the God of the universe, who is perfect in all things and sovereign in all things, says, no, this is who you are. You're a adopted daughter of the Most High King, who pulled you out of the muck and the mire of your sin, made him yours through your faith in Christ, not based on your merit, because he needed you on his team, but based on his grace and goodness. So when we believe the things that God says about us, when we lean into it, here's the irony, friends. Here is the grand irony of it all. When we believe that we're very good, we see that our value and our worth is not located in our back office, isn't located in the shout outs of earning a trip. It isn't in our rank. It's in Jesus. And here's the irony. That actually frees us to work harder, because we know the outcome of our activity, whether we earn or not, whether we win or not, whether we sign them or not, whether we get shout out or not, our worth and value doesn't vary, doesn't change, because we are very good. If your value was attached to the outcome of your activity, what a roller coaster life. And look, a lot of us live like that in our even daily lives. Oh, our kids had a great day. I'm such a good mom. Our kids are hellions. I'm a terrible mom. I mean, like, that's what literally we base our worth as mothers, right? As mothers, based on the actions of your children, right? When you know the work you've done, you know you're a good mom, right? So we can't live life like that. We can't live life on our worth and our value being based on the outcome of our activity. And the same thing with Plexus. Now, when we understand the source of our value, the source of our gifts, we work harder and we work with more freely, because you're like, man, I'm going to try this. I am going to go live. I am going to reach out to the rock star. I am going to post every day. I am going to be consistent. I am going to be my stories. I don't care what other people say, because my value does not decrease or increase based on the social media analytics of how many people viewed, liked, and commented on my post. I will not be enslaved by that anymore. Look, hear when I say this. I get off of here, you may think this is the greatest 30 minutes of waste of your time, and that's not going to make me lose any sleep. You can message me that and go, this is a waste of my time today. I'm sorry you feel that way. And you know what? I'm still going to feel really great about myself. Well, that's just pride. Nope. I just know how God has equipped me. I know what my value and worth is, and it's not in your opinions. Now, my vision for my life, so Cassie's like, whoa, my vision for my life I'll give you my vision statement, then I'll be done. And Cassie, do you mind if I like 5 minutes for like Q&A, like one Q&A or something like that? Like I meant to leave some room for that. So my vision for my life, let me just tell you right now, thank you. You have actually today, you have contributed to the vision for my life. You're like, what do you mean? I just showed up. Exactly. The vision for my life is to do the most good for the most amount of people while God has me on earth. That's my personal vision. So me coming over here and be able to train you today and equip you today, encourage you today, inspire you today is filling my vision. So it's super selfish that I'm actually here. It's awesome because it's feeding my gifts, right? Feeding my vision. So thank you for being here. So anyway, friends, you're very good. And your dreams and your goals and your calling are worth you showing up every single day, even when you don't feel like it. Even when that list of the negative seems longer than the list of the positive. Okay? You're not here by accident. You're not here by luck. You're not here on this team by luck. Okay? You're not here on this team by accident. You have an incredible leader. You know this, who I know right now. I could say, Cassie, I want you to say positive things about every single person on this. And she would, and she does all the time. It would make you weep. It'd make you cry. Why don't you believe it though? Why do you have to wait for someone else outside of you to tell you that affirmation? You have to believe it because Cassie didn't create that in you. She just sees already Jesus inside of you and what he's doing and taking it and pulling it out to reveal to you because we're our own worst critics, right? Okay, I'm done. Q&A. Here we go. Any questions? Shoot, Shelby's like, I'm ready. No, you is a false. It was a fake out. It was a reach and pull back. Okay, I got you. It's okay if you don't have any questions. It's fine.
I don't necessarily have a question, but I just want to say thank you. What you say today just really reaffirms a lot. I think a lot of us have been working on what does God say that we are. I think a lot of us have been working on mindset more. And it shows in our business, like you said, people show up for us because we're showing up for ourselves and they see that and it attracts other people in a good way. And so thank you for that. Appreciate it.
Appreciate that, Christy. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and I wanted to say thank you too for leaning into what God's calling you to do. You won't remember, but I will remember forever. But you baptized me in Punta. So, and you prayed over me and everything. I'm not going to cry. But thank you. It's very inspiring to listen to you. And I think every one of us, you've touched every one of us, even today. We all needed this.
Yeah, I appreciate. I do remember you. Absolutely, 100% do remember you. I'm sure the waves didn't let me hear Shara. I didn't think I heard that name, but I was, but that's awesome. I would have remembered Shara, the name, but I do remember you. Awesome. Thank you for your kind words. I appreciate it. Okay, friends.
Kyle. Oh,
yeah.
I was just going to say, if you had one recommendation of the best way to really revamp that mindset, what would you say that is?
So it's a great question. So thing is, cliche things are cliche because they work. Okay. So some of this is going to sound cliche. Obviously, being God's word. I mean, that's number one. Like number one, being great community like this, you need cheerleaders in your life to pull you out of the muck and the mire. Like absolutely. Number two. Number three, I think whenever I feel less than, I have to go and reevaluate where am I drawing my value, my worth from? Where am I counting my wins? Now, here's what's crazy, right? Like, and look, we can't be so righteous that we're leading ourselves into poverty, in the sense that like, it's okay, I haven't signed anybody up for a year. It's fine. I'm wonderful. Okay, cool. You are wonderful, but you stink at network marketing. Okay. Fair? Okay. So the thing is, as much as I want us not to, so your back office does not indicate your value, but it just shows you how far along you are in your journey. And if you're afraid to go to your back office because you're scared you're going to go see, then you're never going to grow. Go to your back office because it has so many nuggets of truth, right? And not value, not worth, but just truth. Oh, I have a retention problem. Oh, I haven't, this girl's, I have a credit card decline problem. Oh, these points where I was a year ago on the same date, I'm higher or I'm lower. It's just it's waypoints to show you progress. That's it. It has nothing to do with value or worth. But so I think oftentimes to kind of revamp my mindset, obviously, prayer, Bible, community, all the things, but it's also just to kind of lay out. I like to go back to my vision, my why personally, I like to understand where I'm coming from and what I'm being called to do. And I then avoid, this is weird, but I avoid things that drain me of my confidence and my mindset. Okay. That could be people. Cassie knows this. Um, the older I get, the grumpier I get, but it's like a righteous grumpiness, and I actually really love it. And I am very stingy with who I let speak into me, and whatever, even what I let even in my wheelhouse, right? I was in a couple of sideline chats with Jules, nobody on my team or nobody, of course, Cassie's not in or anything like that. And I just realized like it was just becoming a form of complaints. And I'm like, why am I here? What am I doing? This isn't serving me at all. So I'm constantly asking the question, if my mindset seems poor, I'm constantly asking myself, okay, how is this comment, person, situation, or thought serving me? And if it's not, then I don't think about it, right? I don't listen to it. Now, like my wife will tell me, hey, you trained this and maybe you focus a little bit more on this, or maybe you make that adjustment. That's awesome. I'll take it all day. That's coming because I know where her heart's coming from. She wants me to be my best. But if someone is constantly ridiculing you, putting you down, bringing you down. So then, that's a negative socialization factor in your life that you don't need to be a part of. Now, I'm not saying you to cut off your mother-in-law, okay? But I'm just saying like but you might just want to, I mean, that you might just want to just limit. Like I was in a coaching call the other day. I have a one-on-one coaching person. They were like, I just got a message from my best friend in college, and I know it's gonna be negative about network marketing, and I don't know how to respond. I go, have you opened it yet? And she goes, no, but I know. I said, then why are you opening it? Well, I want to know why. How is that going to serve you? Is it going to impact you? Well, yeah. I mean, it'll devastate me. Well, then, okay, then why? And they're like, well, isn't that avoidance? It's not avoidance. It's just I value my time and my mindset too much. That's one thing I've noticed too. The more value I give to my time, the more value I give to my gifts, the more value I give to my vision and my why, the less time I have for negativity. The less time I have for negative influences. Here recently, well, when I was on the advisor board in Plexus all the time, like we were basically the complaint department. Like, I mean, like people would just tell them this, tell them that, tell them this, tell them that. And I'm like, ugh. But I noticed too, I've started becoming more negative about myself because I would get really caught up into the dramatics and the politics of all things that are corporate. And I'm like, man, that's not me. That's not serving me. It's not serving my people. It's not getting me closer to my vision or my why. And so I began to limit those interactions because I wanted to hold those boundaries because I wanted to protect my mind. So those are just some ways to think about, like, if you're finding I think a lot of times we're in a negative mindset because we stop valuing our mindset. We stop valuing our gifts and our time. Our value has lessened. And so we're in a negative mindset because we don't value it. There are people that you're going to sign up for your team that will never speak to me because of your experiences, your network, because of your gifting. They'll listen to you way further than they're going to listen to me, and vice versa. And so you just have to understand, like, you're not going to get everybody. You got to have a very clear path of where you want to head to and the vision you want to get to. But if you ever find yourself slipping in a negative mindset, quite frankly, and I know because I'm okay with saying this, I know she can handle it. Message Cassie. Be like, I feel like I suck today. Can you help me with that? Sorry, there's a little one on here and I just said the S word. Sorry. But I'm sure Ashley said worse. But I'm just kidding. That's a joke, Ashley. No judgment on your motherhood. Tiny judgment. But this, yes, she has. See? There you go. But it's a great question, Julie. Yeah, awesome question. So that's how I battle it, right? But it's like a muscle, right? That you work out. Cassie's always like making me feel really self-conscious when she goes and works out. And I'm like, I really need to get to the gym today. Thank you for inspiring. Thank you for inspiring. You can inspire. You can't motivate. I have to motivate myself to get my butt over there. So thank you for inspiring. No judgment here. Appreciate it. But the thing is, it's like a muscle you're working out. And I know it may seem easy for me because I still struggle at time to time, but it comes less and less for me, a problem and an issue, because I've gotten over the idea of false Christian humility and leaned into, man, I got gifts. I'm using them for the kingdom. I'm glorifying God with everything that I do. And so, yeah, people are like, well, that was terrible. No, I thought it was really good. So Bye, Felicia. I don't need it. Yeah. And what people would describe, and I promise you, a lot of people are like, well, that's arrogance. Like someone would hear me say this and go, that's arrogance. That's arrogant. No, I mean, some of you maybe a year ago would have thought that. Maybe a couple of years ago, maybe a couple of seasons ago would think that. Well, that's super arrogant of him. Oh, cool. Like that's fine. That's okay. But I'm telling you, there's so much joy on the other side of positive mindset. There's so much joy whenever you realize, and by the thing, I'm not going to try to do things that I'm not good at either. I'm not going to pretend that I have gifts that I don't have. I'm not gonna like try to be Julia. I don't need to be Julia. Julia is awesome. I don't need to be her. There just needs to be one Julia in the world. I don't need the second Julia 2.0, right? I just need to be me, right? Yeah. Give you one more.
I don't have a question, but I want to add to what you said, if I can.
Sure.
So then the parable of the talents, and I know in the parable of the talents, they're talking about money in that, but I think we can take that and apply that to gifts as well, because there's many scriptures that talk about that as well. And if we don't know what our gifts are, how are we to multiply them? How are we to help? And so it is not arrogance, and it is not wrong for you to understand what you are gifted in and what talent you have. And I also think it's not wrong for you to say, I don't have that talent, but it doesn't mean I can't learn a skill set to help me in that.
100%.
And others can
100%.
do that as well.
100%. 100%. It's like social media. Like now, like have you ever had your Facebook memories come up like from 7 years ago and you're going, why did I post that graphic? Like you learn, right? But my wife, Cassie, is like chief marketing officer level type graphics in post. And my team often's like, well, we can't do what she does. Good. Just take what she's doing because she's using her gift and her eye and her talent. Quit trying to recreate the wheel. However, then I've had some lean in and go, hey, will you teach me how to do that? Yeah. There's this thing called Canva, and here we go. And so I'm not great at it, but I can do it. We talk about this at Anthem Network all the time a lot, is that I love the parable of the talents. And I think that sometimes, like we were just training on this not too long ago, and it was like, and what I love about Anthem Networks is people come from different network marketing companies and different places, you just really not know where everybody's at, but it's so awesome how we all deal with the same things. And I was talking about this subject about being very good. And I got a message from someone and they said, I've been told my whole life I'm not good at anything but being a mom and a wife. And I was like, that's amazing things to be good at. Those are awesome, awesome, awesome callings in your life, but that's not all who you are. And she's like, but I grew up in a church that says that is all who I can be. Now, none of you would say, I hate being a mom, or I hate being a wife, or, whatever the case may be. And maybe you're a single mom, whatever. I mean, I'm not trying to, there's no pointing the fingers here, but I'm saying like how God sees you first and foremost as a daughter. That's your number one title. And then beneath that is, wife, mom, awesome. But somewhere around here is leader, is network marketer, is mover and shaker, is transformer, is Isaiah 50, is it 56, maybe 58, I can't remember, but it's like you're a repairer of the breach and restorer of the streets. I mean, like that's who you are, so that generations will be able to. So if someone asked me today, what's your why now that you're both diamond? And I said, well, the same why I've had for years now. I am working towards building income to where my great grandchildren will feel the impact. I'm looking at generational wealth, right? And so that you want a big vision, there it is, right? I mean, that's it, right? Kids who, my oldest is 19 right now, so like there ain't no babies coming this way anytime soon, especially not grandbabies, and great grandbabies and all the things. So that's what I'm working towards, and so that's why I'm utilizing every single minute of my day for the utmost. Like somebody asked me also, I did a retreat last weekend in Tennessee for a group of 28 Plexus folks and taught for 10 hours over the weekend in a beautiful, by the way, if you've ever been to Gatlinburg, Tennessee, gorgeous in the fall. But anyway, we were out there and I was training, and somebody goes, what is something that you have learned to do that you're really proud of? And I'm like, well, I haven't learned to do, I haven't mastered it, but what's bringing me a lot of joy is evaluating my day and making sure every minute is used intentionally. I fail all the time at it, but just the pursuit of being intentional in all that I do, even though Like, it's not intentional to go veg and watch Netflix for an hour. Like, I know that's not intentional. Like, that's not very productive, but it is time for rest for me. I don't have to use my brain, so it's okay. Like, I'm okay with that. So what I'm saying is, like, I'm not getting up at 3 in the morning and like writing 6 books and then training and all that. What I started evaluating my intentionality with my time, with my kids, with my wife, with Plexus, with building Anthem Network, with my coaching and one-on-one coaching. Then I realized, like, man, like, we're here for a flash. We're a vapor. We're a mist. And I just don't want to spend it doing things that don't bring joy into the world and glory to God and brings me fulfillment. So if your inactivity right now and not showing up is not bringing you joy, then the best way to cure it is today, go make your post, get in your stories, get the reach out. But I'm afraid I don't know what to do. Just do it. You'll be fine. And you're going to feel really good about it at the end of the day. Because what happens is, at the end of the day, you're going to put your head down and go, I had so much to do and I didn't get anything done. I didn't do anything for my business, and I'll try again tomorrow. I'll try again tomorrow. And the next day it's on repeat, on repeat, on repeat, on repeat. And you're so far behind, then it just feels like it's like such an upward battle. So, all right, friends, hope you have a wonderful day. Cassie, thank you so much for having me. I want to say this before I let you go, because I want you to make sure this is recorded. I've been afforded the opportunity in Plexus to be able to meet a lot of leaders. I don't know, by the grace of God, it's just allowed me to do that. I've been advisory board. I've been a Jewels of Excellence trainer. I have conversations with people in corporate like Alec every week. I mean, and that's not bragging. That's just my reality. And I've been able to connect with so many people. And I'll tell you, when I think about the Mount Rushmore of leaders, Cassie Howard's on it. And the reason I say that is because I always know I'm dealing with a fantastic leader when they talk good behind your backs. It's easy to talk good in front of your face, but when they talk good behind your back, I have never heard a negative word. She never complains. Yeah, we'll be in an Anthem leadership meeting. She's like, well, my team just isn't. I don't know. They're just not motivated right now. Like, always positivity, always connection, always seeing and asking questions. How can I help them reach their goals? Not versus how do I become this? And so I know you love her. I know you have her and you think the world of her, but I'm going to tell you, as third-party validation and as leaders go, and when I vetted her, when we were kind of thinking about bringing her on Anthem leadership, I vetted her. I asked her, the leaders who had been around her, like, what do you think about this chick? You know, whatever. And they go, well, she intimidates me because she works all the time. But outside of that, she has such a brilliant reputation in the field, and especially amongst the leader of leaders, that you are highly favored and blessed to be on this team. And I know you know that, and just know that she's fighting for you every step of the way. And I'm honored and humbled to be on your call today, guys. So have a great Thursday, and hope that God has you just guys in the most amazing momentum in this next season. So privilege and honor to be here. Bye, guys.
Kyle, you're amazing. Oh my gosh, you guys. Whew. So amazing. A man, right? Incredible teacher, a gift of God that he is using, and he's using it in a phenomenal way. You just got to see a small glimpse of Anthem community, like small glimpse. And so I'm telling y'all, it's $25 a month. If you guys can, he's pouring into that community. We all do. And then he has something called Anthem Academy, which is like this. What you just got is Anthem Academy. Like, everybody's on a Zoom. It's a little bit more, but you get that. And it is phenomenal. I'm so grateful and honored to be a part of it. But I'm more grateful to be your leader and to be able to see you guys the same way that he just saw you, the way that God sees you, and the way that your gifts are supposed to be used, you know, and being able to turn off that soundtrack that shouldn't be on and shouldn't be even allowed in that space. And don't get me wrong, I allowed it in my space for a really long time. Hannah's seen it. And it's probably Shara's seen some of it too, but like, I let my inabilities stop me for a really long time. And then I finally just had enough. And I thought, okay, well, how can I change this? What can I do? And that's when I just leaned in and I surrendered. I so surrendered my business, and I so surrendered everything else, and just kept showing up, kept doing the work, kept doing the things, so that my back office, my team, you guys, all of that reflected my work, because I want to pour into you. And just like you guys want to pour into your team, that is how it's done. You just continually share, you love, and you grow. I cannot wait. I want our chat to blow up on what really stood out to you. I'm going to stop the recording for just a moment and then go over homework because I can share that homework later, but I thought this was so good. I really want just Kyle. And then we'll go and talk here in a moment. Where's the recording? Stop. Okay.